Hello, I'm Saima. I am a local councillor, but tonight I'm going to be speaking from a perspective of the work that I do. I've worked in policing for over 30 years, so we'd like to explore some of the issues around police, community relations, the issue of enforcement, and also obviously community cohesion in itself in the broadest sense. So you've got one end of the spectrum of people who are really struggling with COVID. They are terrified of it, terrified of passing it on, absolutely want to observe the rules, will challenge people if they see them, for example, not wearing the mask properly, report their neighbour even, or to the police for allegedly having more than six people in the home or whatever. So on the lower end of the spectrum, they're calling in the police, and obviously you've got on the higher end of the spectrum, the police are being called in, and and they're not wrong. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just explaining the perspective. Then you've got another set of perspectives, and again on a different scale, where they are also struggling with this whole pandemic, but in a different way. They're struggling with cancer. They're struggling with putting food on the table. They're struggling with domestic abuse. They're struggling with mental health. They're struggling with not seeing their friends, their loved ones. They've lost loved ones. So these are all genuine struggles, and it just baffles me that as a nation we are still just dealing with one aspect of risk and not dealing with the whole pandemic and the collective risks that we are facing, and not catering for those needs, because in not doing so, what we're creating is a scenario where one group of people feel justified in breaching the rules. So for example, somebody's got to get to work, they don't see it as a breach, they see it as dealing with their struggle and manage their risk. So they get in the car share, get to work. In doing so, they may be, and this is an anecdote that have been shared with me, they're stopped by the police who don't want to issue them a fine, but there's a breach of the rules, and somebody in that position, if there's a breach of the rules, they've got to issue the fine. So they issue the fine. Uh, they don't want to do it, but then they are told if you want to appeal, you can do so. But if you think about the already minoritized who are likely to need to go out to work, are likely to then to get fined, and in doing so end up, they are themselves being individualized, and the crime has been individualized. And when you look at the engagement angle, the government encouraging people to report their neighbours and challenge COVID breaches, again, that's individualizing the onus of who should be doing a form of enforcement on the lower end. That is not acceptable to me. I don't think that's cohesive. That's conducive to cohesive communities. We need to be moving towards is that engagement strategy around prevention, as we've done in the past, where not one organisation takes the lead, but it's collectively a joint relationship between community, business, public, different communities to come together and engage properly, because engagement done wrong is vigilantism. Let's be blunt about it. So we need to tackle this. I'd love to talk more about it. I'm going to have to stop there. I've gone over probably about double the time I should have. But thank you for listening to me, and I'll try and join you later.